Hello everyone, Maurice and welcome to Things Invest, the top of investing, finance, professional development. For today's video, it terms only. The investment on topic today would be the ticker ETH. First, just want to say happy Saturday, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend so far. As I woke up earlier this morning around 8 a.m. on the East Coast in New York City. It's a beautiful day today. However, with respect to Ethereum, it's currently down about 1.97%. Currently trading around like the $1796 level. Seems like we're heading down to the $1750, $1760 level that I've identified previously in my video as a resistance level that have been consolidated quite substantively historically, right? It seems like the affectation is slowly baking in on top of the option expiry affectation that we've had yesterday ever since 4 a.m. Eastern Time Friday. And on top of that, with respect to the 4 consecutive negative media affectation ever since the FOMC meeting that we've had with Jerome Powell on last Wednesday on the 15th. Also with respect to the James Bullard article that we've had as the second negative media affectation on his depictions on the inflationary outlook. And the third negative catalyst on Monday that happened with respect to the Chinese mining crackdown for crypto, which obviously with the three negative media affectation have drove some selling pressure, selling ever since from June 15th all the way down to today. So it's been about 45% of a crash so far. So I'm gonna go through a technical analysis with respect to a level that we're at right now. Do we see more of a sell-off coming forward for today, knowing the fact that today is a Saturday, so weekend affectation is something we have to be aware of? And are we gonna be seeing 1550 coming, which is a level of resistance level that we have identified as a coming level if we are gonna have more of a major black swan crash coming? So stay tuned, stick around, and let's make some money. So moving on to the technical analysis for Ethereum ticker ETH, you can see that currently we're down about $1781 level, down about 2.71% as I'm recording around exactly 9 a.m. on the Eastern time right now. And you can see that with respect to the small red candle that we see here, 3 hours ago to be exact, around like 6 a.m. on the Eastern time, Ethereum was down about like $1730 level, $1748 level to be more exact, basically hovering around the resistance level that we identified before, right? That very substantive consolidation level that we've formed historically, and it subsequently bounced off of that and bounced up to the walls of the $1,800 level, which I mentioned in previous videos that any flat numbers, right, like 1900, 2000, 1800, these flat numbers are typically psychological mental resistance level that investors like to purchase in, right? And with respect to the level that we bounced back up to, right, you could see that we failed to breach that $1,800 level, which shows that there is a lot of bearishness going on right now, right? With respect to the fear of the option expiry that we've had so far, also with respect to just the weekend affectation in a psychological perspective, right? And also with respect to the consecutive negative media affectation that we've had so far ever since last Wednesday, ever since the FOMC meeting, and then the James Bullard article that came out again, right, that contradicts with Jerome's depictions on the inflationary outlook, and then this mega red candle on the Chinese mining crackdown media affectation, right? So three negative consecutive news, which subsequently drive these like mega red escalator downward trend, right? And then you could see that as of the expiry that occurred also drove another red candle, and today is the media affectation on the option expiry that drives some fear, but also on top of the Friday and the Saturday media affectation as well as the weekend affectation that people typically like to secure the profit moving on to weekend without worrying too much, right? So a lot of these things are encapsulations right now, which is the price point is reflecting the way it is at the moment right now. Okay. Where do we see Ethereum price point going forward from here, right? Knowing the fact that we did bounce off of the 1750 and then up to the $1,800 level, but failed to break through that wall. I think the likelihood and the high propensity for us to go down to would be to retest the 1748, the 1750 to be more precise, as the first level to dollar cost average, right? And with respect to the level of a MACD and the RSI perspective, we are basically drilling oil again, right? I keep using this analogy and I hope this makes sense to you. We are at the earth crust right now and we are digging deeper and deeper and deeper, right? And the MACD is really driving a psychological outlier right now. You can see how wide the spread is forming right now in comparison to historical level, right? And these spreads are way too, it's driving more of an outlier in the supply and demand dynamics at the moment. As we go down even further, the buying pressure is going to increase dramatically. That I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna hear some sort of like black swan news, but this time it's gonna be a positive one from the media publication companies, that the hedge funds or whatever investment firms tap them on the shoulder that Ethereum is gonna be the next big thing or whatever, some sort of like positive media affectation that might happen tomorrow on Sunday, right? Because I realized that many Sundays in the last 2-3 Sundays ago, we always hear those like black swan news that that subsequently crash the market, right? And most of the time, Friday and Saturdays are red days across the spectrum, right? And Sundays typically recuperate, mainly driven by the international market because they are ahead of us. So Monday comes in, people start to buy in both on the equity side and the crypto side, right? And that subsequently drives some affectation. Or it could be the other way around, right? If the international market drives up the equity market, subsequently drives down, right? But there are a lot of contradictions between the publications and how that contradicts with the crypto market and how it anti-correlates with the equity market, right? So tomorrow we have to be watching out for what news that we're going to be expecting, because we have seen these many coincidental news that happens, that it sounds too good to be true sometimes, based on my logical assumption so far, right? If I was to risk mitigate this proposition, how do I maneuver through these obstacles going forward, right? Is to dollar cost average wisely, right? And not be deterred based on how media affectations are influencing our assumptions and our executions on the price point, right? And the levels are identified here, right? So I think based on how it's trending right now, and we are again trying to still break through that $1,800 level, which I don't see a probability for do so. There's a possibility contingent on we might hear some news later today, on Saturday, that could be happening, but who knows? But for us to be a thoughtful, logical investor and risk mitigate accordingly, again, right, the $1,750 level is a great level to buy in. If we get there, and I believe I missed it already early this morning, I didn't wake up on time at 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday. I mean, who does that, right? So I missed it, and I look and I see that we should be getting there soon, knowing the fact that it's hard to crack the 1800, right? And we should get there. And if we get there, the likelihood of us consolidating from there would be likely, right? And then by tomorrow, if we hear another black swan event, right, another negative news, which again, right, based on historical experience, the last 3 Sundays has been negative news consecutively, okay? The last one was the James Bullard article that came out, right? It was kind of like a curveball that was given to us by the feds, right? Are we going to see something like that again, right? If we do, right, the next level is going to be pretty steep, right? I think we're going to break down the 1750, right? We might test a little bit around like the 1700 because again, that's the psychological resistance level. But if you look at this historically, that's a really weak level that we never really had, right? You could see that we kind of just leap down. If we have a black swan events news tomorrow, right? I don't care if it's like extremely negative or just like leaning more towards the negative spectrum, we will be testing the 1550. Quickly recap on all the numbers that we talked about in the technical analysis. I think the current level that we're hovering, the 1800, I think the likelihood of breaking through the walls in the near term, on top of the weekend application that we're experiencing right now, will be unlikely. But if you want to incur some risk and if you just want to buy for the sake of buying to have some risk exposure, I think the 1800 is fair because that's like a level that is still a relatively good discount from a week ago, right? We're down about 40% so far. And with respect to the 1750, again, that's a golden number that I've identified before. That if I get there, I'm definitely buying. And with respect to the steel level, again, right, contingent on no more black swan news that we're gonna be experiencing tomorrow, we should be rebounding, right? And I think if we get to the 1580 or the 1550 again, right, that's a great level to buy in. I look forward to this number. I think by this level, the risk will be so mitigated that on the rebound perspective, just based on how the MACD and RSI is set up right now, that the rebound should be extremely sharp. So, getting these levels could be a rare one, right? So something to look out for. In respect to per adoption, 20%, $9,800, 5.4 times your money if you buy the $1,800. Alright, that's it for today with respect to my technical analysis on Ethereum ticker ETH. Hopefully this was helpful in giving you more clarity and transparencies around the dynamics of what we're seeing in front of us right now. So hopefully this is helpful before I move on to my days. I'm spent time with my family and friends on the weekend. I haven't even had my breakfast yet. I had just a cup of coffee so far. But please hit the like button, subscribe button, and also that bell notification, and watch out for the next video coming up. And feel free to ask me any questions. I'm going to be on my phone the whole day anyway. So please feel free to ask. So take care. Bye.